Welcome back to What If Naruto Had His Parents' Knowledge and Experience Part 9. Disclaimer: I don't own Naruto nor this fanfic. Warning: get ready for heavy sexual contents. The following week passed by rather peacefully. He and Shikamaru had made hundreds of seals to repair the last buildings. The people greeted him friendly each time he was outside to apply them and even thanked him. They had held a funeral for Hiruzen and the other fallen ninjas. They were lucky that only 221 had died in this big invasion. Surprisingly, just 56 civilians died at the attack. Most of them fell down as the whole village shook. Some were just crushed under rubbles. The investigation concerning how the enemy got into Konoha was still ongoing. It was disturbing to know that someone from the inside was erasing his trail. Shikaka had given him the reports regarding the financial cost that this invasion has caused. It was high, yes. But it wasn't high enough to ruin them. That will be discussed in today's meeting. Shikamaru had to arrange a new room for them to get all people in. Naruto, the meeting is about to begin, Shikamaru said as he handed him the necessary documents for it. Then let's go, Naruto said as he took his things and grabbed his coat. Hokage-sama, most of them said with a small nod as he and Shikamaru came into the room. Let's get straight to the point, he said as he sat down. From today on you will be all members of my council. The people nodded as they all sat down after him. The younger generation looked nervous to be under such high-ranking people. I will start with the voting system this council will use, Naruto started, and whispers broke out. Silence please, he said in a friendly tone. No need to make the atmosphere stiff yet. The younger generation up until Chunin will have half a vote in Shinobi matters and no right to interfere in the civilian topics. You are here to learn and give a unique perspective from your point. Is there something unclear? Most of them shook their head. The Chunin, Barrier, Academy, representative with civil background and intelligence division representative have a full vote on Shinobi matter and no in civilian. Any questions here? Again none. Good. The original council and the Jonin representative have a full vote in both matters. The elders nodded satisfied. The 4 experts from the civilian side have 2 votes in the subject they are experts in and no vote on the other side. Questions? And shut up, and Naruto just nodded. How come that Shinobi have voting rights in our matter, but we don't have one in theirs? One asked. Because this is a Shinobi village, to begin with. We don't need civilians in this village to survive. However, you need us to protect this village. Furthermore, it's just that civilians have no idea how Shinobi's work is, to begin with, Naruto said, and the man just nodded, probably too afraid to ask more. Well, since have we finished this, I want everybody who is new to introduce yourself shortly, Naruto said. Kurenai, I'm the representative for the Shinobi with the civilian background, she shortly said. Kakashi Hatake, Jonin representative. Even shorter. Izumo Kamizuki, Chunin representative. Sasuke Kaya, Jonin representative. How did he get the position? Well, doesn't matter for now. Yumi Fua, Academy student representative, the girl said shyly. Ruka Yamano, Academy teachers representative. Ibiki Morino, Intelligence division. We all know the clan heirs and council members. So please continue with the civilian side, Shikamaru said as Kiba was about to introduce himself. Miami Shin, my expertise is in the field of architecture, she said with a graceful holding. Oriki, agriculture, the man said shortly. Kane Lotus, financial. Asha, management, she said with a short bow. Perfect, then let's start with today's discussion. Shikaka has given me the report regarding the cost this invasion had on us. It is a high enough amount to cause serious damage to the village, and that didn't even include the medical bill. I will give you 10 minutes to read the report before you and come up with a solution, Naruto said as he waited. Most of them just stared at him confused. But he just raised a brow and pointed at the 4 civilians who were already marking important information on the report. It didn't take too long for the rest to follow. Time's up. To make one thing clear, I don't want half-thought-through answers. It's no mistake if you couldn't think of an idea in this short amount of time. But wasting our time with something you are uncertain about is, Naruto said in a dangerous tone that let the kids take their hands back down. We could get the funds from Sunagakure as compensation for the attack. They just lost their cage and many high-ranking Shinobi. It would be easy to demand this, Ibiki said. It's a good option that we will come back at, Naruto said with a satisfied nod. We can raise the tax for civilians by 5% and for Shinobi by 17%. Both sides should be able to handle this amount and would only take to about 6 months to get the needed money. Kane said. Excuse me, but could you explain the difference? Ino asked. That is because Shinobi have a 4 to 5 times higher salary. The kids just gaped at that. That is right. You ninjas risk your lives out there every mission. This of course explains the higher salary. My suggestion would be to bring civilians into the management in many divisions or to reduce the salary for paperwork. Asha from management said. Is there anybody else? Shikamaru asked as he straightened himself up beside Naruto. No? Good. This was a demonstration of how this was going to work in the future. Naruto and I have already made a plan regarding this issue and we have already sent a team to Suna that they should send a representative to us, he explained. We have also decided to halve the mission rewards. The tax was something that we didn't think of, but we will include it. If my calculations are correct, then 2% more for both sides for 1 year. Shikamaru explained. This was for the younger generation, mostly the heirs. You will all probably sit in your parents' chairs one day. You will have to think outside your profession to be able to lead this village, or it can be our downfall, Naruto said as the adults nodded in understanding, while the children still were somewhat confused. If you think that you aren't made for this, then leave now and we will find replacement, Naruto said as he took Shikamaru by his shirt and pulled him back to his side. Laziness is no excuse, he said, as most of them had to hide their laughter. Now then, next topic. The land before Konoha is flat and barren now. 13 kilometers of just earth. We thought of this as a chance to extend our village. We want to build a new wall that gives 3 kilometers in radius. What are your thoughts on it, Miami? Naruto asked as he planted his chin on his palm in interest. The woman just raised her index finger as a signal for a second as she leaned back and closed her eyes. They all waited as it looked like the woman was sleeping, but Naruto could feel how her brain worked on a plan. 7 months, maybe less if I discuss this with others later. Is this why you are collecting funds? She asked. Yes, I plan to make Konoha self-sufficient, as I also want to build new training faculties. Are you up to hire or do you know someone that can plan and manage this project? Naruto asked her. I'm free, Hokage-sama. We will discuss my idea later. Then you have 2 weeks time to work out a plan and budget, Naruto said as she nodded. Wait, don't we have a say in this matter? Danzo asked a little irritated. Why would you? Naruto asked confused. Then what is all this shit about voting when you decide in the end? He snarled as he slammed his hand on the table, making it crack. Some of the civilians even screamed. The room was still as Naruto closed his eyes, but they would hear the annoyed sigh that escaped his lips. Most of them flinched as he opened his eyes. They were ice cold as he stared the older man down. I think you have mistaken something. This is no democracy. This is a dictatorship. I'm the Hokage and my word is law in this village. You all are here to advise me, not to make decisions for me, he said in such a cold tone that most of the Shinobis even stiffened. We have created this voting system so that in the future I don't have to waste my time here. You will all meet once every second week and discuss new ideas that could help the village or solve problems that could arise. I'm Hokage now and my time is valuable. You will discuss your ideas, make a plan, and only if this is approved by the voting will I even read it and maybe approve it. If any of you have a problem with the decision I make, I'm always open for criticism. However, they should be logical and solid, because if I ever hear you opposing just for the sake of opposing, then we will have a problem. Ruka was sure that his back was freezing now. Do you have any problem with that, Danzo? Naruto asked as he leaned back into his chair, completely unbothered by the atmosphere. No, Hokage-sama, Danzo said as he sat back down. Perfect. Next topic. And like that the atmosphere changed back as nothing happened, but they were all sure never ever provoke Naruto needlessly. And like that the meeting had continued. After the meeting, Naruto and Miami had discussed his vision of the village and if it was makeable. Meanwhile in Suna, a team from Konoha has come with a message for the council. The guard informed. They are late. It's already 2 weeks since the attack. A councilman remarked. We still don't know who their new Hokage is. Konoha is completely shut down. We will gain nothing from waiting. When the answer is outside the door, let them in, Byakuya Jonin said. The guard nodded as he opened the door and Jinma came in. I'm here to bring you a message from our Godame. He wants you to send a team to Konoha with full authority to discuss your full surrender as also the payment that comes with it. Jinma said. And if we refuse? Baki asked. Then I quote, you have almost annulated our village. Money shouldn't be a big problem compared to that. Should you still wish to refuse, then you have to find your own way to block against Rabaiji Utama. Half of the council gulped as they nodded. When he gives you a month to sort your own things out and come, Jinma said. Very well, tell your Hokage that we will arrive in time, Baki replied. He also said to bring Gaara along, Jinma added as the atmosphere got cold. As you wish. That's what they said? Naruto asked as Jinma reported back. Yes, good. Make a written report and have some rest, Naruto said, and Jinma nodded before he vanished. Shikamaru, let's go to the hospital. I want to give out the promotions personally, Naruto said as he put his papers down and created a shadow clone to take over. The nurses and medics bowed as he and Shikamaru moved along the rooms to find their patients. Finally, room 234. He knocked 2 times and waited. Come in, the voice was older. Hokage-sama, the 4 people in the room said. It seemed that his sensei and teammates were there. Well, less work for him. Neji was also on his list. I'm here to promote Rock Lee to special Chunin, Naruto said as he looked at the poor kid. His entire leg was scattered in 2,000 pieces. I'm got promoted? Lee asked, confused. Yes, your skill is enough to reach Chunin rank, but your decision making isn't good. You should have retreated in your fight, Naruto said as he turned to Neji. Retreating would be giving up, and I never give up, Lee said, still respectful. That's why you are only special Chunin and not Chunin. Wasting your life is not something honorable, it is downright foolish. In an exam, even more. Don't forget that a Chunin's decision can cost hundreds of lives, Shikamaru said from behind them. Hyuga Neji, I promote you to special Chunin. If you come to the Chunin re-examination and perform well, I will promote you to Chunin, Naruto informed. I will be there, Neji said with a smile. He can advance and let the main family behind. Denton, your performance wasn't enough. While your skills with weapons are extraordinary, it's still not enough if you can't combine it with chakra, Naruto said as she nodded. I would like to give Lee and you a position at the academy as instructors. The 3 looked away from Lee as they heard him. Of course, but Lee won't be able to fight again, Tenten said after 10 seconds of silence. Well, that won't do. Losing you would be bad for Konoha. Let's see, what do we have here? Naruto said as he took Lee's report. His leg was a complete mess. Well, even for me this is too much, Naruto said, and all their faces fell as they hoped that the genius Hokage could help. But I can pierce his broken bone back together, Naruto said as his chakra entered the boy's leg. It was like a gigantic puzzle. Lee tried to hold still, but they all could see that the boy was in pain. It took Naruto 30 minutes and 11 attempts to get it all back together. I'm really sorry that it took me so long. It should be all back together now. You are forbidden from any kind of exercise. I will go and search for Tsunade, Naruto said as he turned to leave. Now? Shikamaru all but screamed. Yes, now. Go and summon the council, Kakashi team, Ken and that whole pervert Sanin, Naruto ordered as he vanished. Perfect. Just fucking perfect, Shikamaru ranted as he moved after his master. These 2 are odd, Lee said. And that is coming from you, Tenten and Neji thought at the same time. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this what if. If you have, please don't forget like, comment and subscribe. Also share this video with your friends. This 2 are odd, Lee said. And that is coming from you, Tenten and Neji thought at the same time. Naruto finished a seal as he waited for the last person to arrive. Without looking up, he knew that it was Kakashi. He copied the seal 4 times till Shikamaru announced that the last person had come. I'm sorry for this unexpected meeting, but I'm leaving the village. I wanted to sort some things out before, Naruto said. Hokage-sama, you can't leave the village, the Hyuga clan head said. What I can and can't do is not up to you to decide, Naruto said coldly as the man nodded. I'm going to get Tsunade and Shizune. Our medical corps needs them. And if Tsunade doesn't want to come home? Danzo asked. Then I will execute her as missing then, but I'm sure that she will come. I'm after all pretty convincing. Many had to agree with that. It was hard to go against his words, and that even before he became Hokage. So, before I leave, I wanted to make sure who is in charge. Kurenai will be handing out missions and make decisions that are reasonable. Her assistant will be Asha from management department. Almost all of them looked shocked. Kurenai, why her? She was strong, that goes without saying, but she was rather the quiet kind. I will give her, Kakashi, Shikaku and Shibuya seal. Put chakra into it and Shikamaru will teleport us back instantly. If there are decisions that are too hard to make or you are too uncertain about, then just leave them be. Naruto said. We will be gone for a week, at most 2 weeks. This village better be like when I left it, Naruto said as he handed his seals out. Now then, promotion. Aburame Shino will be promoted to Chunin. The face remained the same even as his father patted him on the back. Shinokin will promoted to Chunin, but I urge you to find a Jinjutsu master as fast as possible, Naruto said as he boy thanked him. Haruno Sakura, Hyuga Hinata and Yamanaka Ino, you 3 are demoted to academy students. The room fell silent as 3 looked near tears. I have read all your missions reports as also the reports of your senseis. Your behavior is unacceptable, and your skills are downright non-existent. Your behavior would be alright if you were a civilian, but as Shinobi you are responsible for other people's lives. Your obsession over Sasuke is even worse. You are putting him and your team in danger because you are wasting time for unimportant things. Naruto finished as he looked at Ino and Sakura. Hinata, even though you have the skill that is needed for Jinyan, you have no confidence to strike. Like all Hyuga, you have amazing chakra control and your eyes are a god-given blessing for medical ninjutsu. Her eyes were now wide open. I would suggest that you go into the hospital for a year or 2 and build up your confidence there. With your gifts, you could even become one of the best and bring pride to your clan. However, you should talk with your father about it, Naruto said as he looked at the clan head. The man just nodded, but didn't comment on it at all. Well, lastly, I promote Nara Shikamaru to Special Jonin, his expertise teleportation and seals. Sorry, but for your skills aren't good enough for Jonin, even if you have hoped for it, Naruto said, as Shikamaru smiled at him. Don't worry, I will make it in half a year, Shikamaru said confidently. Sorry, what about me, Choji and Sasuke? Kiba asked, and Naruto could see how his mother wanted to slap that boy. You 3 will remain on the Jonin rank and can do the exam in half a year again, but I will rearrange the teams before, so that nobody has a dead weight with them, he said as he looked at Sakura and Ino. Now then, I will leave with Shikamaru, Shino and Jiraiya, Naruto said as the 2 looked at him surprised. Jiraiya will find Tsunade and my secretary needs his own secretary, Naruto said with a matter-of-fact tone. I'm sorry Hokage-sama, but I don't think that I'm good in something like this, Shino said, his face all the same. Naruto just sighed as he pulled Shikamaru to him, hands on his shoulders preventing him from going. Does he look like he wants to be here? Most of the kids shook their heads. Then what makes you think you have a choice either, Naruto said as he let go of the boy. Now pack your things, we will leave in an hour, Naruto ordered before he dismissed them. Naruto had packed his things as he slowly walked through the village. All the buildings were repaired as the people started to live their normal lives again. He saw Kakashi talking with Gai when he remembered something. He called the 2 to him as they walked together. You are late. Many Shinobi gaped at Shikamaru to scold their cage like this. He was probably the only one that could get away it. I looked at the village's atmosphere. Sorry, won't happen again, Naruto said as he stopped. Last thing before I go, Kakashi, you are on guard duty until we return. Kakashi's face fell as he heard that thought. He kept his mouth shut as he knows that arguing wouldn't help him. Book it, was demanded, and if you could see how the light died behind his eyes. Don't you think that is too harsh? Jiraiya asked. He came too late, into the field. In front of another cage, he is lucky that I haven't demoted him, Naruto said as he took the little orange book. Gai-sen will make sure that he doesn't get a new one, Naruto said before he nodded to his group and formed his famous wolf to sit on. Let's go. The group vanished as the Shinobi looked at the distance, seeing their shadows. He is pretty harsh for being this young, Izumo said as he burst out laughing. The look on Kakashi's face was just too good. Yay, how dare he takes your life essence, Kotetsu said as he laughed with his partner. They traveled at relatively high speed as Jiraiya guided them from one town to another. It was frustrating that Tsunade was so hard to find. It even more annoyed him that Jiraiya pestered them for money. This was so shameless. He even tried to look at the seals Naruto and Shikamaru made. That of course got him flying. It was a well-known rule that Naruto was extremely possessive over his seals. Shikamaru, we need to talk, Naruto said as they built their camp for the night. What is it? Shikamaru said as he sat down beside his master. I wanted to know if you are feeling well. At the day of the attack I said that we will talk, but work kept popping up and we couldn't do it, Naruto said as Shikamaru looked thoughtful. I feel a broken bar, small, powerless, and like shit. Naruto wanted to say something, but Shikamaru stopped him. I also feel unsafe, but that all doesn't matter right now. You are ruling a village, and I help you with everything I have. It makes me feel better that we do something for the village each day. So, all in all, it's pretty good with my emotions, Shikamaru said. That is good to hear. Should you ever feel the need to talk or for my presence, just say a word and I will make time for you. Shikamaru smiled as he heard that. He could count on Naruto. Jiraiya went into the casino and was glad that they finally found Tsunade. It had taken 9 days to track her in the land of fire. Shizune was with her as she had their small pig in her hands. How are things going so far? He asked as he sat down beside her and Shizune. What brings you here, you old pervert? She asked, ignoring his question. You won't like my answer, so why don't we talk about old times before I tell you? Jiraiya tried, but he knows that she would be too stubborn. Jiraiya, I swear if you don't tell your reason for being here, then I will punch you through this building. Tsunade said, not even looking up. As the news might reach you, Hiruzen is dead. The Godame orders you back. It was the first time that Tsunade looked up. She knows that their sensei was dead and that they had chosen a new Hokage, but it was a mystery who it was. Nobody was allowed into Konoha at the time, and out were only sent Shinobis for their missions. The only rumor circulating the new Hokage was that he was small. Then say to your Hokage that he can fuck himself. I will not come back. Jiraiya paled. He knows that Naruto got a bad temper with disrespectful people. You can say it to him yourself. He is waiting outside, Jiraiya said. Shizune and Tsunade's eyes grew wide. A Hokage outside of the village? That was something almost unheard of. The only time something like this happened was to meet other Kage. Fine, then let us meet that high and mighty leader of ours, she said with sarcasm. She couldn't deny that she was curious about the new Hokage, that he or she would come here themselves. They walked outside of the city and met with a group of 3 genin. She looked around as she thought that the Hokage was hiding somewhere, but looking at the blonde she thought that she missed something. So you are the legendary Sannin, a medic with exceptional skills, Tsunade. Then the other must be Shizune, the blonde said, and something was off about him. His presence itself demanded respect. Jiraiya said that your Hokage was here. So where is he? Or did he get scared and hid himself? Tsunade said in a mocking tone as Shizune and Jiraiya paled, but Naruto just laughed. How amusing you are, but from what should I be afraid of? The boy said as he stood up, and the other 2 immediately positioned themselves behind him. What do you want, Breath? She finally asked, giving up looking for the cage. As the Godame, I order you to return to the village, the boy said in a very authoritative tone that sent chills down her spine. Now she remembered his face. Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. This was Minato's Breath, indeed a very powerful ninja. So, they chose a child to be the head of a village. Ha, this world makes me sick, she said as she stared down on him. Whatever it makes with you is your thing, but it will change nothing on my decision. Ha? This boy had guts as he didn't look in the slightest intimidated. I refuse. I have already lost enough for this village. I have no plans to return, she said as she turned. Suddenly she couldn't move anymore as a large seal appeared at the ground. Our Hokage didn't ask you, he ordered you back, Shikamaru said as he held a kunai at her neck. Shikamaru turned the seal off. Naruto commended and Shikamaru did as he was told. Tsunade swung her fist after the boy the moment she could move, but he teleported away. Hiruzen, Tsunade couldn't help but stare. But he is right, I didn't ask you. Hiruzen might have let you off, but I'm different. I don't care if you have lost 2 people to this village, others have lost more and still fight for it. If you can't take it, then you shouldn't have become Shinobi to begin with. His words were cold and cruel, but he was right. I want you to teach and help out at the hospital, but I heard that you have developed a phobia against blood. If you can't work in the hospital, then it's your job to teach your knowledge to someone who can. Make your choice wisely. Same for you, Shizune. If you refuse, then you will be labeled a missing nin and I will execute you on the spot. A cold shiver went through her body as she looked at the child. What was he, 15? Yet, he had no problem with ending her life. His eyes were determined as he looked into her soul. She looked at Shizune, who had become extremely pale. The woman would probably choose the same thing as she did, meaning that both of them would die. She glanced at her former teammate to see if he would help her if a fight would start. You don't have to look for his help. Even if you three would fight together, you wouldn't stand a chance. He had seen through her, or did Jiraiya warn him beforehand? I will come, but I won't work at the hospital, she said with gritted teeth. She had to go back because of this small child. What a wise decision. Shikamaru, teleport us back. The Nara kid nodded as he took her and Shizune's hand as the other three placed theirs on his back. Not a second later they were back on the Konoha wall. Looking around, she saw how much had changed. Turning, she saw what happened with the front of Konoha. It was just like the rumor said. That kid did really block against Rabaiji Udama. Welcome back to Konoha, Hokage-sama.